Welcome back, Clinton Yates. Another episode of Blue Review is here today. We are here on Monday, August 28th, it looks like, and it's been a great weekend. Let's start off real quick. How was your weekend, Clinton?
Things were good. We'll talk about this a little bit later, but normally I'm in Williamsport this time of year. This time I was not, but our boys right down the road for me and El Segundo took home the title. We'll talk about that a little bit more later, but that's what I spent my weekend watching outside of the Dodgers getting it done in Fenway Park.
That's right. So, as always, Blue Review is presented by Los Angeles International Airport. Hire LAX can create life-changing opportunities for Los Angeles residents. And for more information, guys, check out Hire LAX on Eventbrite. All right, so let's get right into it, CY. Like you mentioned, the Dodgers took down the Red Sox in Fenway. It was good to see Mookie return to Fenway for the first time and do his thing. And his other teammate, who is an MVP candidate, Freddie Freeman, also was doing his thing. I kind of wanted to touch on this. It's a cool topic. Freddie Freeman at 50 doubles, CY, with 33 games remaining. The record is 67, and this was in 1931 from a guy named Earl Webb. Basically, my question to you is, do you think he can make the 67? He's on pace for 63 right now.
So, okay, there's an interesting thing about this stat, which is that, Parker puts together some research for us before this, and the top 6 humans on this list, none of these players have played since basically anybody we know was alive. And that is so strange to me. Like, records that get broken from generations past are always so interesting to me because, as far as I'm concerned, getting 50 in the modern Major League Baseball era is as good as anything in the 60s, in the 30s, for reasons that have to do with, hello, fairness of competition, and number 2, quality of competition. It's just like, this to me is the modern gold standard. And I know that baseball is all obsessed with numbers and so forth, but if you ask me who the best doubles hitter is of my time, I'm going to say Freddie Freeman. And that's wild to think about because typically you think about doubles hitters as guys who are kind of leggier dudes in the outfield, guys that can stretch plays in different ways. Freddie just mashes the ball off the wall all the time, and that's just kind of who he is. And whether or not he gets to the record or not, I think is just kind of a formality. But in terms of who he is in the lineup, I mean, you just can't replace this guy. People ask me all the time, if I had to have one batter at the plate with a runner on third, game on the line, who would it be? I say Frederico Freeman all the time, and I've been saying this for seasons, bro. This guy is just a little too good at every single thing he does, and I think that he's arguably, again, outside of Mookie, who had a great day, probably the best thing going for the Dodgers so far.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, Freddie's been one of the best hitters in the game for so long. It's almost, that's not even a hot take that you would say that. Frederico, I would also have him on the line. When the game's on the line, I would have him on that plate. Another fun fact, though, about this record, because, of course, when he reached 50, he also broke the Dodgers franchise record held by Shawn Green.
Yeah.
Which, another fun fact within a fun fact, my uncle's name is Shawn Green, just spelt a little bit different. But anyway, Shawn Green held the record for about 15, 20 years for now. And Freddie broke it, and Shawn wanted to give him congratulations because Freddie's youth hitting coach was actually Shawn Green's father, Ira, which, I mean, what a trip. What a full circle moment in life.
That is a very cool moment, and it shows you how, in fact, small the baseball world is on some levels of the game. Shawn Green, of course, not exactly iconic Dodger, but certainly a generational Dodger, I think, to a lot of people, simply because of, who he is, from his faith and identity to who he is as a Dodgers player overall. Shawn Green was a fun guy, and he was a professional hitter. That's probably what he is most well known as. So for that to come back around and serve other generations of Dodgers fans, I think is actually, you couldn't have written that if you wanted to. Sometimes truth is stranger than fiction when it comes to things like that.
Yeah. So speaking of youth coaches and whatnot, Freddie being young, hitting under Ira Green, something happened over the weekend, Clinton, that I know you have a very vested interest in. The Little League World Series, like you mentioned, you're usually in Williamsport at this time. But this year, it was none other than our home heroes, El Segundo. Clinton, why don't you touch on that a little bit?
Yeah, El Segundo. They managed to take home the Little League World Series title. They beat Curacao in the final on Sunday. 5 straight games they had to win in order to win that tournament. The setup changes year to year depending on the amount of teams that are there. This is the most teams that have ever been there. They've expanded it in the last 3 years. And point being, it's harder than ever to win this tournament, and Segundo managed to get it done. They've got a couple kids that are really good ball players, but this ended on a walk-off bomb, bottom six, after Curacao had tied it with a grand slam in the fifth. Mind you, these are 12-year-old kids. Sometimes you get a blow like that late in the game and you're not capable of regrouping to get back on top, even if you've been leading the whole game.
Yep.
Segundo kept it together. They won the whole thing. Again, not easy to do for a West Coast team in a short tournament in terms of acclimating to the East Coast and all that, but they got it done. They're having the parade today on Main Street. I just might go up to Gundo to see what this looks like, because I've never been there for a celebration like this, but it should be a good time, and I'm always happy for kids to be able to come together and win a trophy and let their whole family and their whole town be proud of them as well.
That's right. The whole town, Clinton. And when I say the whole town, I mean from the South Bay all the way even down to the Inland Empire. SoCal was all claiming these
Right.
boys. And there's no better way to show that than in 2 days, I believe it is. Actually, tomorrow, this will be the
Tomorrow.
29th. The Dodgers will host the champions at the game. So that's going to be a real special moment. I'm sure they're going to get a big celebration on the scoreboard, maybe meet some of the guys, of course. So I'm excited to see that. Um, but there's another thing that's going on this week that I think is going to be really fun. I will be there, in fact, with some of our teammates over at ESPN. On the 1st of September, the Dodgers are going to be doing their Lakers night, and they're giving away just on the backs of Kobe Day coming, last week. They're
Yeah.
going to be doing a Mamba edition jersey. Why don't you kind of touch on that a little bit? I mean, can you remember a giveaway that's better than this? I got to be honest. This is my favorite
No,
giveaway of all time.
yeah, this will be a very popular one. I'm never going to be one to talk about how long the legacy of Kobe is going to last in any particular individual's life, but there is some closure that's come with the announcement the Lakers made via Vanessa in terms of the statue,
Mm-hmm.
and B, in terms of everybody sort of 824 representing next year when the statue is going to come out, representing his two numbers. Closure just in the sense of I think there's a lot of people that are still very much in disbelief about Kobe Bean Bryant's passing away, and that extends over all of the franchises in the Los Angeles area, and I'd say also arguably in the globe too. So for the Dodgers to be able to come together and get that timing right,
Mm-hmm.
at least close enough, I think that'll be very well appreciated by a lot of people who are not just Dodgers fans, but Lakers fans. And on top of that, a lot of Kobe fans who don't care about the Lakers because that's just how big of a deal Kobe was. I tell people that all the time. He was bigger than the franchise. I think it's well appreciated, and you'll have a lot as many Kobe fans as you will have Lakers fans that are there as well.
That's right. No, I'm super excited to go to that game
Yeah.
and, hang out with the teammates and celebrate Kobe. So, CY, I'm going to kind of turn the floor over to you. If there's anything else you want to touch, it's all you. But if not, as always, this has been the Blue Review presented by LAX. We'll catch you next time.
Go Gundo.
Go Gundo, baby.